Why is my slide visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good morning, all of you. Today we look at the binary addition, subtraction, and also multiplication. Okay. So we'll look at how these addition, subtraction, and multiplication can be implemented in logic circuits, the hardware. So before looking at the actual circuit, it's a small thing we need to know. We already seen this part, how a 4-bit addition is done, binary addition is done in the last class. So in the last class, we had seen 1's complement, 2's complement, sign and magnitude, 3 different representations we had seen. And also we had seen just how the addition is done. So here we have is a 4 bits. So this is an 4-bit, and here we have a 4-bit, and we add from the right extreme, and we move towards writing adding the pairs towards left. So we'll start from here. So 1 0 we will add. We have a 1, and remember starting the carry in is 0. By default it is 0 because no other pair we have after this one. This is a right extreme pair. So when we add 1 0, we have is 1. So carry in we have is 0. So when we add all the 3, 1 0 and the carry in, we get is 1. Okay. So what is the carry out from here? There is no carry out. So we say carry out is 0. The same carry out becomes carry in for this pair. So carry in for this pair is 0, which came from this previous pair of binary numbers. Okay, so we 0 got the carry out, and when we add 1 plus 1 and the carry in 0. So remember, this is the actual logic. We add this value, and the carry in. So we have is 1 plus 1 and 0. It is 1 0 itself. So we keep 0 here. This is the sum. We'll keep here, and carry out will be 1. The same carry out becomes carry in for this pair. Okay, so it's 1 plus this carry in we got from here. So whatever carry out from this pair becomes carry in for this pair. So 1 plus this one carry in. So 3 becomes 1 1. So 1 here, another 1 here. So this goes on addition. So remember, at the moment we are adding this bit, and also the carry in bit. So we call this one as X, this one as Y, and this is C. Similarly, this is X. So entire digit you assume this one as a X. So this will be X0, X1, X2, X3, Y0, Y1, Y2, Y3. So X and Y we will add plus carry in we will add. Okay, so this same thing is repeated when we say this is a 4-bit addition. Here is 1-bit addition. Just we are adding 1 and 1. You see, 1 and 1. So this 1 will be X. This one will, the bottom one will be Y. So this is also 1. 1 is X. The bottom Y will be 1. So because instead of taking 4 bits, I had taken here 1 bit addition. So this is X, this is Y, and we don't have carry from here. So by default carry in will be 0. Okay, when we add these, we will add X plus Y plus carry in C. So we have is 1 0. So 0 we keep here, which we call as sum, SI, and carry out is 1. Okay, 1 plus 1, it's 1 0. So 1 will be carry out and 0 will be sum. Okay, so this already you know, hope from the last class, just a revision. So based on this X, Y, carry in, SI, and C out, these parameters, we made a truth table. And based on truth table, we designed the actual circuit. Okay, let's look at how the truth table looks. Remember, this is a 1-bit binary number addition. Here is the truth table. Look at the values X, Y, carry in, sum, carry out. This is the truth table. So one thing is, when we try to add X, Y, the inputs for the addition is X. Not only X and Y, even the carry in also we will add. So what are the different three combinations? What are the different combinations of these three values? Because there are 3 bits, 1, 1 and 0, 3 bits. So total combinations possible is 8 combinations of X, Y and C. So based on this X, Y and C, all the combinations are written, you can see. We have 8 combinations, 4 and 4. All 3 zeros, 001, 010, 011 and so on. All the combinations, 8 combinations of 3 bits we had written. One will be X value, other will be Y value and third will be carry. Okay. When we add these 3, we get this the sum SI. Okay. And the carrot will be this one. So when we add these 3 numbers, we already know the sum will be 0 and no carry out from here. So when we add these 3 numbers 0, 0, 1, sum will be 1, but no carry out from these pairs. From adding X, Y and the carry in, we don't have any. Where do we have the carry? Here you can see 0, X is 0, Y is 1 and carry in is 1. Carry in is 1. So when we add these 3 bits, 1 plus 1, it becomes 1, 0, right? So 0 will be the sum and 1 will be the carry out. Okay. And here also you can see in this scenario also we have a carry out is 1. So in this scenario also we have carry out 1. Here also you can see X is 1, Y is 1 and carry in is 0. Okay. So when we add 1 plus 1, it becomes 1, 0. 0 we keep here and carry out will be 1. So the same you can see this bits, this row we represented in our previous diagram. This one 1, 1 and 0. X is 1, Y is 1 and carry in is C. So you can see this represents the same thing. X is 1, Y is 1 and C in is the carry in is C means carry in is 0. Then sum will be 0, carry out will be 1. Sum will be 0, carry out will be 1. So this row, the 7th row we had represented is this itself. So in this way, we had written for every combination of this X, Y and carry in, we had written the respective sum and also the carry out. Okay. So based on this truth table, we had designed the, formed an expression. We had simplified this expression to get this one. So the expression for the sum and also expression for the carry out. So look at the expression for the sum. How do we get this expression? So you can see SI. So SI. So from this truth table, we got this entire expression. Let's see how do we got this SI. Here you can see all the 4 zeros. So X, this one. So for this one, for this sum, all are zeros. So we can get an expression from this one. Any parameters for this part of this expression. So you can see, consider for this one, when sum is 1, you can see, you can take this, you can consider these values. So this will be 0, X is 0. So we say it's X bar, Y is 0. So it's Y bar, X bar, Y bar, and carry in is 1. So we call it as CI. So X bar, Y bar, and C. So you can see X bar, Y bar, C. Okay. Again, and we look at where again in the sum is 1. So here it is, sum is 1. So we look at here, it's X bar, Y, C bar. So when it is 0, we say we apply bar. If not, we will spell it normally without any bar. Okay. Similarly, where else we have 1? So here we have 1. So you can look at the expression. This is X, Y bar, C bar. So you can hit X, Y bar, C bar, third one. And where else we have the 1? Yeah, here we have 1. So here you can see all are 1s. So we, without bar, we will spell it X, Y, C. X, Y, C. Okay. So we have around 4 1s here, here, here. So we got 4 values, 4 variables, you can see. And we added all them because it's a sum. We added all them. Okay. And when you evaluate all these values with K maps, so at the end we get is this is the expression, which is XOR expression. We are XORing X value, Y value, and C value. Okay. So finally, when we simplify this expression, we got is this one where we are XORing X, Y, and C. Okay. Sum is XOR of X, Y, and C. And similarly, when we look at the expression for C out, it's the same. So look at the C out, where it's C out we have. Yeah, C out here. So we had considered only this one, Y and C. YC, the product of YC. Similarly, again, where we have here. So it's a XC. Okay. So entirely we got the expression for the carry out also. Okay. Right. So we need to design expression for this one, that is logic circuit for this one as well as this one, that is for the sum and also for the carry out. Okay. So how do we design this one for sum and carry out? So remember, here we need is XOR operation. Okay. So we need XOR gate between X and Y. We will, for XORing between X, Y, and C, we want an XOR gate. Okay. And also for this expression, we want is product. So we are doing a product of Y and C. We are doing product of X and C, and also we are doing product of X and Y, and we are adding. Okay. So let's look at how it looks. So these are some theory part, the same thing what I had explained. So here you can see the logic expression for this sum. So this is the expression we had taken. Okay. This is the XOR of all the three, X, Y, and C, XOR. And you can see for XORing all this, Xi, Yi, Ci. So Xi, Yi, Ci, we kept is XOR gate. This is the XOR gate, which is implemented in the logic circuit. Okay. And finally, this gives the result is Si. So to get the result Si, this is the XOR gate is used, and these are the inputs given, and finally the output we get is this expression only, which is, so this XOR gate will do XOR of Xi, Yi, and C. Okay. So we had this in a 3 input XOR gate. This one, it takes 3 inputs and it does the XOR of all the 3. Okay. Similarly, for the carry out function, we have is this one. Okay. So for the carry out function, you can see we want product of these two, and this one. So that's why we have AND operation for this one. We need AND operation for this one. So product means AND operation. So AND operation for this one. And finally, what we do is we want a OR operation which does addition. Or plus means here we will keep OR gate. Product means we'll keep AND gate. Okay. So that's why Y and Ci, this is the AND gate which does the product of these two. Next, another AND gate to do the product of this one, and third AND gate to calculate the product of these two, and finally it need to add all this YSCI plus XSCI plus XIYI. To add all these three, we need an OR gate, and finally we have is this expression we call is as the carry out function. Okay, so the entire diagram we call this one as AND OR circuit. Remember, this entire circuit we call as AND OR circuit. So one we have is XOR gate, and other one we have is AND OR circuit. Okay. So next we'll go with try to implement these two, keep these two, and do this addition, the entire addition, because when we add these three, we get is the sum, and during addition we use the carry in, which becomes carry out for the next pair. Okay, so when we add two, we get the carry in, we get the carry out, which becomes carry in for the next pair. So I said like sum is implemented with this one, and carryouts are implemented with this circuit. Okay, and we need to combine these two, and we make an adder. We call this one as full adder. So this full adder does two things. It contains, so this is the adder, full adder. The output of the full adder will be the sum Si, and also this one, carry out expression. So to generate these two from full adder need to contain this one, this XOR gate, and also this AND OR circuit. Okay, so assume this full adder consists of both XOR gate and also AND OR circuit, so that it takes, this full adder takes input X value and Y value. Remember, X is 1-bit binary number, Y is also 1-bit binary number. Example is X0 is 1. Assume X0 is 1, Y0 is 1. And remember, we may have a carry in also. Starting carry in may be 0. So 1, 1 and 0. And we finally have a sum. So what is 1, 1 and 0? When we add 1, 1 and 0, we get is 1, 0. So we keep the sum here 0 here, and carry out will be 1. Let me repeat once again. If X is 1, Y is 1, and carry in by default at starting it is 0. 1, 1 and 0 we get is, when we add all the three, 1, 1 and 0, we get is 1, 0. So we keep 0 as the sum, and 1 will be carried out for the next pair. Okay, and you need to remember is this X and Y are 1 bit each. This can be 1, 1, or can be 1, 0, or 0, 1, or both can be 0, 0. Okay, so this one we call as full adder, and inside full adder, remember we have this XOR gate and also AND OR gate. Okay, and this is 1-bit binary numbers, so it is adding only 1 bit at a time. How do we can add n number of bits? The question is how we can add n number of bits. So we need multiple such type of full adders to add n bits, n-bit binary numbers, because this is 1-bit binary number. To add n-bit binary number, we need such n number of full adders. So this is the next slide. So you can see, I want to add, for example, 3-bit numbers. I want to add 2 3-bit numbers. What are they? 101. This is one 3-bit number. 110 is another 3-bit number. I want to add these two. So assume this 101. First one is X0, next one is X1, next is X2. Okay. So sorry, it need to be reversed in X2, X1, and X0. Y2, Y1, and Y0. So this becomes X0, this becomes X1, this becomes X2. And here also it's Y0, Y1, and Y2. Okay, so 1 is added to 0 in this full adder. 1 is added to 0. So this 1 is X0, this 0 is Y0. So 1 is added to 0 in this full adder. Similarly, the other 2 bits, next 2 bits, 0 and 1, these are added in second full adder. And 1 and 1, these are added in third full adder. FA means full adder. And remember, there will be carry-ins. At starting, carry-in will be 0. We already know, because there is no other pair to give some carry-out. So this carry-in will be 0. And when we add these 2 bits, if there is any carry-in, so if there is carry-in something like a 1, it goes to the, has an input to the second full adder. And that carry-in will be added to these 2. Okay, so remember, this is a carry-in into this full adder, which adds with along with X0 and Y0, and it comes as a carry out, and the same carry out becomes input to this, that is, it becomes carry into this full adder, and whatever carry out from here, it becomes carry in for this one. Whatever carry out from here becomes carry in for the next full adder. Okay, so every carry out from every full adder, it becomes carry in for the other full adder. Okay, and the output of every full adder is the result of the sum. The result we can say S0, S1, and so on, S2, S3. The 3 bits, it will be S0, S1 and S2, that's it. And these three bits kept side by side, we say as the sum. Okay. Right. Okay. So here you can see the carriers are propagating from one full adder to another full adder, right? So that's why we call as a ripple. So you can see carriers must propagate, or we can say ripple. Propagating, or also we can say as a ripple. That's why we call this as n-bit ripple carry order. Ripple carry adder. Okay, n-bit carry ripple carry order. So with using this n-bit ripple carry order, we can add maybe 3 bits binary numbers, or maybe two 4-bit binary numbers, or two 5-bit binary numbers, and so on. Okay, so for example, I have two 10-bit binary numbers. How many full adders are required? If I want to add 10-bit two binary numbers, this is 10-bit, this is 10-bit. How many full adders are required?
10.
10 full adders. And remember, each full adder will be adding only one bit, and it will gives the carry out to the next full adder. That will add next pair of bits, and along with the addition of the carry in also, and gives as a carry out to the next pair. That becomes carry in for the next pair, and so on. Right. Okay, this happens. So remember, this is n-bit ripple carry adder. And one more thing is, we can even connect such n-bit carry adders. So such type of this is one single n-bit ripple carry adder. So we can connect such multiple n-bit ripple carry adders to become k n-bit ripple carry adder. So you can see in the next slide, this one, cascading of k n-bit carry adders. So we had taken such multiple n-bit carry adders and we had connected. So you can see this is one n-bit ripple carry adder. This is another n-bit ripple carry adder. This one is another. So multiple. So how many? It's k number of ripple n-bit carry adders. N-bit ripple carry adders we had connected. Okay, so this is capable of handling input numbers that are k bits. So if the binary number is k bits long, that can be handled using this connected or cascaded k n-bit ripple carry adders. Okay, so this one will add all the values from 0 to n-1 bits, and this will add all the values from maybe n to 2n-1, and this one will add from 2n+1 to kn-1. Okay, and we already know the carriers will be propagating from here to here and so on. Right, so this is the addition done. Okay, addition is done. Okay, and the question is, we want to do both addition and subtraction of the binary bit numbers. Okay, so this is a logic circuit which done both the addition and subtraction, and we already know addition and subtraction is done the same way, but only one difference is here you can see, for example, so in this circuitry you can see the inputs. We have the X inputs. Here we have is Y inputs. Okay, and there is no XOR gate here for the Y, but here you can see for the for the X we don't have an XOR gate, but for the Y we have the XOR gates. Why do you have this gates means? So here we have the reason. For example, I want to do for subtraction. So for addition, we don't need these XOR gates, but for the subtraction we need these gates. Okay, so remember this is an n-bit adder, the one we had seen in this here. It's the n-bit adder, the same n-bit adder. This entire is represented in this diagram. This is the n-bit adder. The same n-bit adder is represented in the single blocks. So remember, we have for example 3-bit numbers. We have 3 full adders. We have 3 adders. Just okay. So I said like to add two 3-bit numbers, we have 2 full adders. Okay. So these 3 full adders are assume are in this box. 3 full adders we have, and there is a propagating of carrying, and that's why we call as it's n-bit adder. But it is implemented. It is represented here with a single box. Okay. So if there are it need to if we need to add maybe 4-bit binary numbers, we will have 4 full adders here inside this box. If we need to add 5-bit, then it will be having 5 full adders. So okay, remember we have x here and y here. And thing is, for addition, the x will be as it is given as the input, and y is given as it is the input. But subtraction, you can see, for example, x minus y, I need to do subtraction. For example, x is 8 and y is 3. I want to do is 8 minus, so x minus 5. So 8 minus 3, it becomes 8 minus 3. So here addition, same addition is done, but thing is 8 plus, and we will write is minus 3. How do we calculate minus 3? Any idea how we can generate minus 3? Yes, Sama, good. So it's 2's complement of 3. Okay, so that's the 2's complement is generated from this XOR, this part from here. This will generate 2's complement. So y comes as an input. When y is given as an input, the 3 is given as an input, it becomes minus 3. And 8 comes as it is. So remember, 8 minus 3. 8 comes as it is in the binary format, not in the decimal format. In the binary format, 8 comes as it is. But when we give 3, it becomes minus 3 when we want to do subtraction. Minus 3. So 8 plus minus 3. That is, addition is done in this n-bit adder. And we have the sum here and maybe carry out. Okay, so one thing you need to remember is, if this signal line is 0, addition is done. If this signal line is 1, then subtraction is done. So the same thing is represented here. When the control line is set to 0, addition. When control line is set to 1, then it is subtraction. So when control line is set to 0, it is addition. So y is not changed. Y is given as an input as it is. And 3 is there, 3 as it is potundi, 8 plus 3 addition అయిపోతుంది, 8 plus 3. But subtraction చేయాలనుకున్నప్పుడు x is given as it is, that is 8 is given as it is, but 3 is complemented, plus 3 is complemented, and finally we get 2's complement of 3, which is minus 3. Then minus 3 is added to 8. 8 minus 3, which is subtraction. అంతేనా? ఇక్కడ 8 plus 3 అవుతుంది addition. So plus 3 కాబట్టి y is not changed. But ఇక్కడ మాత్రం y ది 2's complement generate చేసి then యాడ్ చేస్తాం. అంటే minus 3 చేసి అప్పుడే యాడ్ చేస్తాం 8. So 8 minus 3, it becomes the subtraction. Okay. So based on the control line, the circuit does the addition and subtraction. Okay. And additionally, we can add for this same diagram, we can add an XOR gate, another XOR gate, which is not presently added, which is not added here, but we can add this additional XOR gate to detect overflow by checking this condition. If Cn XOR Cn minus 1 is equal to 1, then overflow happened. Okay, this is an additional XOR gate we can add to the existing diagram circuit. right? Addition and subtraction based on this control signal. If it is 0 subtraction, 1 0 for addition and 1 for subtraction. So yeah, that's it. And these are all the questions I already given to you. Assignment questions for week 6. Okay. Next we will look at the multiplication part. We are done with the addition and subtraction. Okay. Hope everything is clear. First, just a quick glance of 2 minutes. We had taken the truth table. We will check what happens, different combinations of 1 bits. When we add, what is the carry in, what is the carry out, and what is the sum. Based on this, we had generated the expressions for the sum and expressions for the carry out. Okay. And for these two expressions, we had seen the hardware implementation. For this sum, this is the hardware implementation with the XOR gate, and for this carry out, this is a hardware circuit which is with the AND gate, 3 AND gates, 1 OR gate. Okay, this is XOR, but this is AND and this OR gate. Okay, and we had tried to implement these two hardware, that is XOR gate and this AND OR circuit. We had taken these two and we kept those two here inside, and we made a full adder. Okay, full adder takes 1 bit, even carry in it takes, and from these 3 inputs it generates a sum and also carry out. And remember, these are the 1 bit. So it does this one full adder can do only 1 bit binary numbers addition. How do I do n bit binary additions? Using this, keeping multiple full adders. If I want to add 2 3-bit adders, I need 3 full adders. 5-bit numbers binary numbers I want to add, 5 full adders. Okay. If I want n bit, I need n full adders. Okay. Even this n full adders can be cascaded or connected in this way, and so that it can handle binary numbers of length kn bits. Okay, done. And the one we had seen is this does the addition. Okay. When we take this one, this does the addition. How I can do subtraction? The same thing is with the help of a control line, addition and subtraction. This is the n-bit adder, the one we had seen in the previous slide with 3 full adders. You can assume here, but thing is based on the control line. If control line is 0, so addition, 1 it is subtraction. How it is done, the subtraction is by doing the Weiss complement. With this case, x is unchanged, but y is 2's complemented. Right. Okay. Done. So next is multiplication part. Multiplication of, first we look at unsigned numbers, then we'll go with the signed numbers. Unsigned numbers is we don't have any sign, all are something like positive. And remember this multiplication or these multipliers or the circuitry which does the multiplication are used in various commercial applications like computers, mobiles, high-speed calculators, and general purpose processors. Okay. So this multiplication of this binary numbers is similar to multiplication of decimal numbers. So how we do multiplication of decimal numbers? The same pattern or same method we use for multiplication of 2 binary numbers, especially unsigned binary numbers. Okay. Right. So the 4 fundamental rules is this. So for multiplication, these are the rules we follow. When 0 is multiplied with 0, the result is 0. 0 multiplied with 1, we get is 0, and 1 multiplied with 1, we get is 1. Okay. So remember, in all the cases it is 0, but only when 1 is multiplied with 1, the result is 1. Okay. When 1 multiplied with 1, the result is 1. In all other cases, it's 0. Okay. This is the rule we follow, and we will try to see multiplication of 2 4-bit binary numbers. 4-bit binary numbers. 2. Okay. So remember, in this multiplication process, for example, 13 into 11. 13 is called the multiplicand, and 11 is called multiplier. 13 multiplicand, 11 multiplier. Okay, the one which multiplies we call as 11. Okay, remember this. The first number we call as multiplicand, the one which multiplies we call as multiplier. Okay, so this is when we look at the multiplication of two binary numbers, what with the common methods we follow is partial product addition. This is important. What is partial product? We'll see, and shifting. We already know while multiplication we shift towards left one bit. Okay, in decimal numbers multiplication also we does the shifting towards left, and we'll see what is partial product addition. Okay. So first we look at an example of we'll convert 13 into binary and 11 into binary numbers, and we'll try to multiply those binary numbers, and we represent the binary numbers in 4 bits. So here you can see 13 when represented in 4 bits it's 1101, and 11 1011, and we already know 13 is called the multiplicand and 11 is called multiplier, and we represent 13 has that is multiplicand has M and 11 is Q. That is, this will be M0, M1, M2, M3. This will be Q0 because the multiplier is Q, Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3. Okay, so we already know multiplication how it is done as in decimal. In decimal, what we do? We take the extreme right number and we will multiply with this number. We will multiply all other values, bits. Okay, here we will take 1. This is the first value. We will multiply 1 into 1, 1 into 0, 1 into this one, and 1 into this. Okay, we get is 1101. That's it. 1 multiplied with 1101, we get is 1101. Again, 1 multiplied with 1101, we have is 1101. When we multiply the third number 0 with all the 4 numbers, what do we get? All 4 zeros. And finally we get the one, we take 1, multiply all the 4 numbers. Okay, so it's again we get is 1 1, that is 1 1 0. So you can see either we get the same number or we get is zeros. Same number 1101 110, that is multiplicand itself 1101 1101, all zeros. And we will add all these numbers, and remember we had shifted a bit right side. We do the same thing in the decimal multiplication also, right? So you can see the addition of all the values. We already know the binary addition. So when we add the 3 ones, it's 1 1. So we keep 1 here, 1 here. Carry out is which becomes carry in for this one. Carry out from this one, which is 1. Becomes carry for this one. So 1 1 is added, it becomes 1 0 again. We keep 1 0 here and 1 1 1 0 1 1 1 0. So, okay. Finally, these are the. And remember, when we multiply 4-bit or 2 binary numbers, the output will be 8-bit number. 8-bit. That is, if the input is n-bit, we multiply n-bit binary number, the output will be 2n. So that's why 4-bit binary multiplied, then the output we have is 8-bit. Okay, so when 13 into 11 multiplied, the output we get is this binary number represented in the decimal we call as it's 143 the product. Okay. Okay. So, but one important thing you need to remember is in hardware, if you want to add all this, we have is when we multiply, we have all this intermediate, right? We will add all this. So in hardware, we will not add all this at a time. All these 4 numbers at a time we will not add. We will add first these 2 pairs. Okay, this 1101 and 110 we will add. We get the intermediate result. We call it as partial product. That partial product we will add to this one, and again we get another partial product. That partial product we will add to this one, and finally we get is the product. Okay, so let's see this one with an example here. The same diagram you can see 1101 multiplied 1011. We already know it's 1311, and this is M0, M1, M2, M3 because multiplicand we are calling as M. And similarly multiplier is Q, so it's called Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3. So what is our first product? Q0 into M0, Next Q0 into M1, Q0 to M2, Q0 to M3. So we okay, maybe some technical problem. Is my slide visible, Amma?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Maybe some technical problem. Right. We'll continue. So, so whatever we get, this one is we call as partial product. So here I had kept the diagram here. Right. So this one is better. I had written and had scanned the this one product. So you can see same thing 1101 which is 13, 1011 which is 11, MQ. This is M0, M1 and Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3, and whatever after product of Q0 into M0, Q0 into M1, Q0 into M2, Q0 to M3, we got is 1101. This we call as partial product. PP means, remember, PP means partial product 0. This one. Next, we will multiply with the second one. Maybe Q1 into M0, Q1 into M1, Q1 into M2, Q1 into M3. We got is this partial product 1. Next partial product. Okay, we add these two. First, we will add these partial products. We get a result. This we call as partial product 2. Okay. Next, what we do is we multiply Q2 with all the 4 numbers. Q2 to M0, that is 0 into 1, 0 into 0, 0 into 1, 0 into 1. Okay. So with Q2 we multiply all the 4 numbers and we get is 4 zeros here. So these 4 zeros we will add to the partial product. We call this one as partial product addition. Okay. And after adding these two, we get is again the intermediate partial product 3, the result. So we are adding the intermediate values. Okay. Then we are doing again the product and we are getting this one. So how do we get this 1101? This one. Q3 multiplied with the 1. That is M0, Q3 with M1, Q3 with M2, Q3 with M3. So we get is 1101. When we add these two, we get finally the final product. We can say this one, or you can say that this one also PP4, but actually this is the final product. We can say the product of these two numbers, M and Q. This one. Okay. So remember, we are something like we are adding these two, taking the result, adding that result to this one. Again getting the result, adding the result to the last one, this one. So at the each intermediate place step, we are getting partial products, and finally we are getting the product, actual product. The same thing happened here. PP0, PP1, PP2, PP3, PP4. Okay, right. The question is, how do we implement this one in the hardware? This multiplication, how do we design in the hardware circuit, that is in the logic circuits? with the gates. Okay. Next slide. Okay. Here the same thing is from the above multiplication, partial products are generated for each digit, the multiplier. So for each digit, we are getting the partial product. You can say 1 into 1, this one. Each one we call as partial product, each bit. So this into this into 1 into 0, we get this partial product. 1 into 1, another partial product, 1 into 1, partial product. This partial product will be given as an input to the next addition. The entire result. This is the partial product. This is given as an input and it is added with this one, this product. Okay. So, okay, how do implementation of this multiplication of unsigned numbers by logic circuit? How do we implement the multiplication, the one we had seen just now? How do we implement this part? Okay, this part can be implemented with array multiplier. So this is the array multiplier which does the implementation of that multiplication. What is this array multiplier consists of? This is the diagram. Array multiplier. Okay, these are each one we call as a cell. Okay, so what is array multiplier? It's a binary multiplication of unsigned operands can be implemented in a combinational two-dimensional logic array. We call this one as array multiplier, and this is okay, and this is specifically to multiply this one. This diagram of this logic circuit is for a multiplication of two 4-bit binary numbers. Two 4-bit binary numbers. So if there are two 4-bit binary numbers, 4-bit into 4-bit we call as 16, right? So we need 16 cells. These are the 16 cells. We have 4 cells here, 4 into 4, you can see total 16 cells we have. Each one we call as a cell. We have 60 cells because it's 4-bit binary into 4-bit binary multiplication. So the circuitry we need is, which consists of 16 cells. Okay, and each cell contains, the square box we can say is a cell. It consists of AND gate and also full adder. A full adder we already seen one, and we have AND gate. Okay, and you can see what is this M here? We already seen in the previous one. M is the multiplicand. M is the multiplicand. This one 1101, these bits, and Q is the multiplier 1011. So remember this multiplicand is M, multiplier is 10. This Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3. So in multiplicand we have M0, M1, M2, M3. In multiplier we have Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3. So these are given as an input in this circuitry, logic circuit. You can see multiplicand. These are at the top multiplicand we have. So M0 is given as an input to this cell, M1 to this cell, M2 to this cell, M3 to this cell. Okay, so same M0 is given to all these cells, all these diagonal, the cells in the diagonal direction. So M0 is given to the, it has an input to this cell, to this cell, to this cell, and also to this cell. Similarly, M1 to this cell, this cell, this cell, this cell. Similarly, M2 to all these 4 cells in the diagonal, M3 to these cells. And what about Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3, the multiplier part? So you can see multiplier part. Multiplier for Q0 is given as an input for all these cells. Why it is given as an input to all these cells? Because Q0 need to be multiplied with the M0, Q0 need to be multiplied with M1, Q0 with M2, Q0 with M3. That's why we will pass Q0 to all these cells so that it can be multiplied with all the multiplicands. Similarly, Q1 is given as an input to all these cells because Q1 can be multiplied with again with M0, M1, M2, M3. Similarly, Q2 is given as an input because it can be multiplied with Q0, M0, M1, M2, M3. Similarly, Q3 can be multiplied with M0, M1, M2, M3. Okay, so at each cell, what is happening is we are giving a input to the multiplicand M0 and also the multiplier also we are giving as an input. Along with these two, what else we are giving? A carry-in also. A carry-in, by default carry-in is 0. You can see at every step we have a carry-in 0, carry-in 0, carry-in 0. And after addition of M0, Q0 and carry-in, we have some carry out here. again that becomes carried. So this you can see the carries propagating from one cell to another cell. The bottom line, the second line is carries. The carries from this cell to this one, from this cell to this cell, and the upper line represents the Q0. Q0 propagate going to one cell, to all the cells. Okay, so remember multiplier is multiplied with a multiplicand in each cell. Okay, so in each cell, how each cell does this multiplication and generates this partial product. You can see these are the partial products, the one in the blue from the top arrows which represents. At starting we don't have partial products, that's why they are 0. But after going through this each cell, we have intermediate partial products here. And here also you can see the entire partial product here, the partial products, partial product. So all these intermediate steps also we call this as partial products, all the PP1, PP0, PP1, PP2, PP3. So what each cell consists of, we look at what each cell consists of. It said like each cell consists of AND gate and full adder. So what AND gate will do is it does the AND means is the product. So it does the M into Q. It does M into Q, something like M0 into Q0, M1 into Q0, M2 into Q0, M3 into Q0. This product is done by AND gate. And next full adder does is this one, M into Q, plus additionally it will add the partial product and also carrying. It will add these two. So we'll see how each cell consists of in the next slide. The diagram of this cell, the single cell, we will see the next diagram which consists of the AND gate and full adder. So we'll look at the cell, how it looks, single cell. This is the single cell in the array multiplier. This is a single cell. So in single cell, what is the incoming inputs for this single cell? One is the M value from the multiplicand, Q value from the multiplier. There will be a product. That's why product of these two, M and Q. That's why we have is the AND gate here. And whatever output we get, it goes into full adder. And what full adder will do? It takes that product M into Q, which is done by AND gate. So it takes that product, full adder will take that product. FA will do the sum of the product plus the partial product. So it is coming from the above cells. The cell above this cell. From there we will be getting the partial product. Even that partial product is added to this product. Plus carrying also added. So one is carrying, we have input for the full adder. One is the product of M and Q for the full adder. One is partial product. All these three are added by this full adder. And this cell may give carry out, which will be a carry-in for another cell. Okay, remember this full adder has three inputs. One is the product of M and Q from this AND gate. Next carry-in is another input. Partial product from other cell is another input. All the three are added by full adder. So this is the addition. And output we get is another partial product which becomes input for another cell. This bit of outgoing partial product will be input for another cell below it. Okay, this is one cell and this is all. Okay, so this is single cell. Single cell and okay, this is single cell. These multiple single cells are cascaded in this way and we get this entire array multiplier. If you want to look at once, you can have the single cell in array multiplier. So remember, as I said in this previous slide, each cell consists of AND gate and full adder. What is the AND gate? This is the AND gate, this is the full adder. And each cell takes the input is partial product takes as an input and output it gives is partial product, outgoing partial product. This partial product becomes input for another cell. So at each cells partial products are generated. And this set of all these partial products we are calling as PP0. Next set of partial product generated in these 4 cells we call as PP1. Next set of all partial product generated here PP2. And finally we get is the final product. The final product. So all the cells kept together. How many cells? For example, a 4-bit into 4-bit. What is the answer? How many bits we have here? The answer is it is the 8 bits. 2n. N bit into n bit. The answer we have is 2n, which is 8 bits. The product, the end result we have is 8 bits. Okay. So meanwhile, you can go through this slide. You can analyze this one. I will take the attendance. Okay, all are present. Yeah, it's good. Okay, thank you, all of you. If you have any doubts, please stay back. If you don't have any doubts, you can leave. Thank you, all of you. If you have any doubts, please stay back. You can resolve your doubts. So I will stay back and I will wait for if you have any doubts until all of you leave. If you have any doubts, you can unmute yourself and you can ask me doubts.